Hello everyone, this is Simple Math for you. Our lesson today is Parallel Lines and Transversals. أهلا بكم في Simple Math for you. ودرسنا اليوم يتكلم عن المستقيمات المتوازية والقواطع. And this is part 1, الجزء الأول. First part will include parallel lines and transversals. We will learn what is the meaning of parallel lines and what is the difference between parallel lines and skew lines. If two lines do not intersect, then they are either parallel or skew. What is the difference? شو الفرق بين المستقيمات الباراليل والسكيو المتوازية والمتخالفة سكيو متخالفة؟ Parallel lines are coplanar lines. Coplanar lines means same plane في نفس المستوى. And they do not intersect. They don't meet. لا يتقاطعان. يعني for example, this line K and line M are parallel lines. And usually to indicate that the lines are parallel, we put same arrows. If you want also two arrows here, they indicates that the lines are parallel. إذا المستقيمات المتوازية لازم تكون في نفس المستوى ولا تتقاطع ولا تلتقي. So we can say here that JK is parallel to double slash هيك مع بعض. بدل ما نكتب كلمة parallel نكتب الرمز هذا. Skew lines are lines that do not intersect and not coplanar. For example, here, line L is lying on plane A. Line M is lying on plane B. And if you extend the lines, إذا مديت lines, they will never meet. And that means they are called skew lines. Now, what are parallel planes? Parallel planes are planes that do not intersect. لا يلتقيان. For example, here plane A, plane B are parallel. Just a reminder, how can we name the plane? We can name the plane with capital letter at the corner as they have done here, or we can name the plane using three non-collinear points. And for example, here if you have here points X, Y, Z, so we can say also that this plane can be named as plane X, Y, Z. Instead, in addition to naming it as plane B. So let's take an exercise about that. Here, identify each of the following using the cube shown. Here's the cube. Assume lines are planes that appear to be parallel or perpendicular or parallel or perpendicular. For example, here, this surface, this plane, looks parallel to that one. So we will assume that they are parallel as they have asked us. So let's see the first question. All lines skew to BC. This is line BC. What are the lines skew to BC? Now, if you look at AD here, for example, line AD do not intersect with BC, but they are both in the same plane, which is the surface. So we cannot say that these lines are skew, they are parallel. But he is asking you to find skew lines to BC. So let's check. For example, AF, if you extend AF forever, it will not intersect with BC. If you extend DE forever, also it will not intersect with BC. If you extend GH here, no, GH is the same plane from the backside plane. So we cannot say GH is parallel to BC. Okay, we can have here FG. Yes, FG is also skew with BC. HE, look at HE here. It's skew with BC. So easily we can identify the skew lines. Now, easier than the skew lines are parallel lines. What are lines parallel to EH? Where's EH? This is EH. So you have to find out, لازم ندور على line not intersecting, لا يتقاطع مع HE وبنفس الوقت في نفس المستوى. اللي كان skew lines اللي هي المتخالفة في مستويات مختلفة. Now EH here is parallel to CD. It is also parallel to FG في نفس المستوى هذا. And it is also parallel to AB. Now let's discuss the AB because this is a little bit confusing. AB and HE are not directly parallel, but we can say that HE is parallel to CD. HE is parallel to CD. And so HE, I will write it here, is parallel to CD. Also, we have CD is parallel to BA. They are the same plane. By transitive property, خاصية المتعدية, since this line is parallel to this same line هذا المشترك is parallel to a third line, so أكيد these lines are parallel. Remember what is the transitive property. For example, A equals to B and at the same time B equals to C, فأكيد A is equal to C. تعدت ال B. This is the transitive property الخاصية المتعدية. So this is a little bit confusing for many students and I hope this is clear now. We also need now all planes that are parallel to plane DCH. Let's clean that one. What are the planes parallel to plane DCH? Where is DCH? DCH is the plane that includes these points. معناها we are talking about this surface. So what is the plane parallel to that? It is very clear that the only parallel plane is this one. السطح الموازي له هو هذا المستوى الموازي له اللي هو D A B G. You can name it this one. You can name it ABG. You can name it BGF. You can name it GFA, and you can also switch the orders. Okay, I hope now the skew lines are clear. Also here we have something called transversal. What is that transversal? A line that intersects two or more lines in a plane at different points is called a transversal اللي هو القاطع. لاحظت line T يتقاطع أو يقطع lines Q and R at two different points. So we call it transversal. Line T is a transversal of lines Q and R. Notice that line T forms a total of 8 angles with lines QR. If you have any two lines cut by a transversal, then you will have 8 angles. We will study also relations between these angles. Let's take an exercise here. Identify each of the following using the figure shown. Assume lines and planes that appear to be parallel or perpendicular are parallel or perpendicular respectively. 3 segments parallel to AE. What are the segments parallel to AE? What are they? Let's first identify AE. Where is AE? AE is this one. Okay, what are the segments parallel to AE? Let's see. We have here DH أكيد parallel to that one. Also CG, because AE is parallel to DC, DH is parallel to CG by transitive property, AE is parallel to CG. Also, there is anything else? We can say also the BF, by the way, BF also, yes, we can say that. So we can say here that the lines parallel are, let's take examples. He needs only 3. So BF, CG, and DH. Enough. Segments Q to AB. Let's erase here the highlighted here. Segments Q to AB. This is AB. We are looking for lines that not intersect with AB and at the same time on a different plane. يعني نبحث عن خط مستقيم لا يتقاطع مع AB وبنفس الوقت ليس في نفس المستوى. يعني مثلا AD أكيد غلط لأنه بيتقاطع معه. DH شوف DH if you extend it forever لو مديته إلى الآخر إلى ما لا نهاية لن يتقاطع مع AB. So DH is an option. What else? Let's check. What else? EH. نشوف EH. EH is this one. فعلا EH إذا مديتها للآخر it will not intersect with AB. We have many here. مثلا GF also can be skew lines with AB, skew line with AB. تمام. So here, let's arrange here our writing, EH. Question 3, a pair of parallel planes. Parallel planes. Now, the only parallel planes that we have here is what? Do we have only one parallel planes? We have two parallel planes actually. We have this is parallel to that one, two bases that are parallel to each other. So we can say that plane A, B, C is parallel to plane H, G, F. We can also say plane, we can say that this plane, the front one, this one, front one, is parallel to the back one. You can say that plane DCG is parallel to plane ABF. I have taken only 3 letters to name the plane. Sometimes you will see that they are naming it as a rectangle. يعني rectangle DCGH is parallel to rectangle ABFE. It's also correct. Now, a segment parallel to AD. AD. Where is AD? This is AD. AD. Parallel to it is this one. So first one is very clear. DAD is parallel to EH. Do we have any other one? So far, I cannot see any other one. A segment, 3 segments parallel to HG. HG is this one. The first one I can see directly is this one, EF. Here, EF. What else? AB, up, or we can say DC is easier, DC. And since DC is parallel to AB, so we will consider AB as well. Now 5 segments skew to BC. BC is this one. What is skew to BC? We have many here. We can say that AE, let's erase those. Let's change the color. AE is skew with BC. What else? DH is okay as well. What else? Go ahead. Now HG is okay. So we have many. We can name many. 5 segments that are skew to BC. So we can name AE. We can name EH. We can name HG. We can name EF. We can name DH. The DH is not intersecting. EF is not intersecting. EF is this one. Yes, we have many segments. How could you characterize the relation between faces ABCD and DCGH? Let's check these faces. We can call them plane as well. ABCD and the other one DCGH. DCGH is this one. They are intersecting, as you see. They are meeting at this edge. And if you imagine this prism, a right prism, as we can see here, as we expect, we will say that these planes are perpendicular. So, متعامدان perpendicular. يتعامدان على بعضهما البعض. يعني كونه زاوية قائمة. So we can consider that the angle in this surface هذا عمودي مثل البريزم يعني. It's a prism already. Okay, let's see here this part. Transversal angle per relationship. This is a very important part actually that will help us to understand how can we find the missing angles if you have 2 lines and a transversal in a special condition. First of all, we have here, as you see, 2 lines, Q and R. They are cut by a transversal T. And as we have mentioned, we have 8 angles formed. From 1 to 8, it's very clear here. Now, we have 4 interior angles. This is interior angle. This is interior angle between the transversal and one of the lines. This is interior. This is interior. We have also exterior angles outside. 1, 2, 8, 7 are exterior angles that are not between lines Q and R. We have here to determine the relation between these angles. As you see here, for the interior angles 4 and 5, they are coming after each other and on the same transversal, the same side. Yani to the left of the transversal, both are interior and same side. Yani both are left. So we can call them consecutive interior angles. Another way of naming it, we can say that they are called same side interior angles. So we can name these consecutive interior angles or same side interior angles. Same apply to angles 3 and 6. So 3 and 6 as well, both are interior, both on the same side of the transversal, and we call them same side interior or consecutive, يعني متتالية, consecutive interior angles. Done. Now, this is the relation between angles 4 and 5, 3, 6. Now, let's check here angle 4 and angle 6. What's the relation between them? Both are interior, but each one of them on a different side. One to the left of the transversal, one to the right of the transversal. So they are alternating, يتبادلان. So that's why we call them alternate interior angles, زوايا متبادلة. إذا الأولى يسموها زوايا داخلية وعلى جهة واحدة من القاطع، أو زوايا داخلية متتالية. أما الثانية زوايا داخلية ولكن متبادلة، تتبادل واحدة يمين واحدة يسار. So they are called alternate interior angles. And they are non-adjacent interior angles. مش إلى ده يعني مش مثلا 4 و 3 مع بعض، لا. So they are non-adjacent and they are on opposite side of the transversal. So it applies also for angles 3 and 5. So 3 and 5, 4 and 6 are called alternate interior angles. We have two pairs of alternate interior angles. Same applies for alternate exterior angles. We have here angle 2, angle 8, both are exterior. Each one of them is an opposite side of the transversal T, one to the right, one to the left, or we can say one up, one down. So they are called alternate exterior angles. Clear? Also, we have 1 and 7 are alternate exterior angles. Last pair that we need to emphasize on is corresponding angles. They are lying on the same side of the transversal. So here, this is the transversal. And on the same side of lines QR, as you see here, one interior, one exterior. So 4 and 8 are corresponding. 3 and 7 are corresponding. Also, 5 and 1 are corresponding. Usually, when I teach this to my students, I can actually make this similar to letter F in English. So letter F, in all directions, it can be also upside down. 1 in, 1 out. 1 in, 1 out. These are called corresponding angles. But for alternate interior angles, they look like letter Z. It can be also upside down or reversed or whatever. These are called alternate interior angles. However, for consecutive interior angles, it is like U letter. Both are inside, or it can be as N also. U in all direction, this and that. Also, they are called consecutive interior angles. So this is the summary of the relation between angles. Let's take an exercise here. Identify the transversal connecting each pair of angles, then classify the relationship between each pair of angles as alternate interior, alternate exterior, corresponding or consecutive interior angles. Let's see. Angle 4 and angle 5. Let's highlight 4 and 5. 4 and 5 together are lying on transversal A. So the transversal is A. What's the relation between them? Both are interior on the same side, so we can call them consecutive interior angles. Next, we have angle 5 and angle 15. 5 and 15. So this is angle 5 and this is angle 15. Where is the transversal that both lie at? الاثنين على هذا، يقعان على هذا القاطع. صح؟ هذا قطع مين؟ قطع هذا اللاين وهذا اللاين. And as you see, these are exterior angles. So we can call them alternate exterior angles. And the transversal in our case is this line, which is D. So the transversal is D, and they are alternate exterior angles. Okay, let's see here. Angle 4 and angle 5. This is angle 4, and this is angle 5. Angle 4 and 5, we have repeated that again. 4 and 5 same. اللي هم same. We can say the transversal. We are repeating the questions, it seems, so we will cancel this. We have mentioned that before by mistake, it seems. So angle 12 and angle 14 now. Angle 12 and angle 14 alternate interior angles. ليش? Why? Because both are lying on the same transversal. One to the right, one to the left, are both are interior. So the transversal in our case is B, line B. Next, angle 7 and angle 15. Let's highlight it. 7 and 15. They are both lying on this line. As you see, this line cuts this line and the other line. So let's see what's the relation between this and that angle. As you see, they are forming like letter F. One interior, one exterior, both on the same side of the transversal. So we call them corresponding angles, متناظرة. And the transversal is D. Angle 2 and angle 12, let's change the color. Angle 2 and angle 12, they are lying on transversal C. And this transversal cutting these lines. Both are interior and they are in opposite sides. So they are called alternate interior angles. In this case, our transversal is C. Let's erase everything now and restart another. We have angle 3 and 6. 3 and 6, they are lying on this transversal, and this transversal is cutting these lines. So both are interior on the same side. So it is called same side interior angles, or we can call it consecutive interior angles. Angle 1 and angle 9. 1 and 9. Let's check 1 and 9. This is 1, this is 9. Both are on transversal C. As you see, they are corresponding like letter F. And the transversal is C as well, صح? Yes, it is. Angles 3 and 9 now. Let's check 3 and 9. This is angle 3 and this is angle 9. This is the transverse. اثنين كلاهما يقع على هذا الخط. And this transversal is cutting these lines. As you see, one up, one down. Different sides, both interior and different sides of the transversal. So متبادلتان. So we call them alternate interior angles, and the transversal in our case is A. صح? This is A. Okay, No, actually it's C. C, not A. Okay, now angle 10 and 16. شوف 10 and 16. 10 and 16 maybe little bit annoying. This is 10 and 16. 10 and 16 both lying on this transversal. And this transversal cutting this and that line. That means we have two angles are exterior angles, and each of them is lying in opposite direction of the other. So angle 10 and 16 are exterior angles, both lying on transversal B. So we call transversal B, and we have this alternate exterior angles. Finally, angles 5 and 13. Let's see, 5 and 13, where are they? This is 5, and as you see, it's better to highlight the angles that you are talking about. This is 5 and 13. They are both lying on this transversal, which is D, and this transversal cutting these lines, so they are posing like the letter F, as I have mentioned. So we call them corresponding angles, and the transversal is D. So transversal is D, and they are corresponding angles. Okay, very good. Now, finally, before we move to part 2, what type of angles 3 and 10 here in this sketch? Let's see 3 and 10. What is the relation between 3 and 10 in this sketch? Is there any relation between them? 3 and 10 both are lying on the transversal L. So there is a common transversal, which is L. As you see here, this transversal is cutting this line and that line. And these angles are lying exterior, in exterior way, but different ways, the opposite sides of this transversal. Both of them are exterior. So angle 10 and angle 3 are alternate exterior angles. وtransversal, if needed, يعني, is angle line L. State the transversal that connects angle 11 and angle 13. Let's change the color to check 11 and 13. This is 11 and this is 13. Both are lying on this transversal, which is P. صح? And this P is cutting this line and this line L and line Q. And both angles are lying inside, interior, in the interior way and on the same side. So we call them same side interior or consecutive interior angles. Or another way, same side interior angles. زوايا داخلية وعلى جهة واحدة من القاطع. So inshallah, next part we will discuss more relations related to these pairs, and I hope everyone understands how we can classify the angles as corresponding angles. This is the summary. We have corresponding angles, and they are looking like letter F. We have alternate interior angles. They are looking like Z طبعا in all rotation. We have consecutive interior angles like letter U. This is F. We are talking about these angles actually. And these angles, and this is angles. The last one, exterior angles, we cannot find a letter relating them. And next time, next part, we will continue discussing the relation between angles. Thank you all.